Hi guys, welcome back to Convos with Marilyn. I'm here with someone extremely special and close to my heart. I'm here with Simone, Sim TV. She is a pioneer in the Ottawa Black space. She loves her hair. She's really cool. She's a journalist. She's actually everything and more. Simone, how are you feeling?
Thank you for having me. I'm feeling good, honestly. When you approached me about doing this, I was so excited because, you're legit when you come to this show. So I'm feeling great.
I mean, I'm happy to have you here because, I feel like hair is a really staple part of who you are. What does hair mean to you?
All right. Hair for me is our personality. It's part of who I am. It's an extension of Simone. For me, hair is personal expression. It's personal conviction. It is creativity. It is just as personal as it is political. For me, it's 50-50. So that's what I was in my head means, or hair in general means to me.
And when you say it's political, what do you mean by that?
Because I think, and it isn't just black hair, I think because of how we feel, and not to get too academic, but the race behind hair and the discrimination around hair as a concept has become political, at least for me.
Yeah.
I am not too blissfully naive about the fact that when I walk outside with my Afro, I'm not saying something. Not just about myself, but about blackness, about whiteness. Those are the things that go through my mind equally as much as how I feel with my Afro today. It's a part of the whole outfit, I think. And that's what allows me to walk outside with my hair however it is in most confidence. Because I have fully accepted the beauty of both it being a personal decision and a political statement.
And that's so beautiful. I feel like when you're the minority, you're already sticking out like a sore thumb.
Yeah.
It's I always used to say because I had the really, really big afro. Really, really big afro. And I always used to joke with my mom that since they're going to talk about me, let me give them something legit to talk about, that kind of thing. And I feel for you, your afro or your hair in general means that much to you. And you were at an event. Could you tell us about that?
Yes, Klepu. So I co-hosted the dopest black hair show ever in life, Klepu by Opel Social in partnership with Moving Art Gallery. And I don't know where to begin with that experience. It was just so black in the best way possible, but it wasn't black in the way where it was let's talk about how difficult it is to have black hair and do this thing. It was genuinely centering blackness away from struggle, and it was just the beauty of black hair. And being able to co-host that event was an honor, not just because something that I would love to do, but the fact that you get to participate so personally in something that all black people just kind of feel and get to connect to. You get to create that space for people to come and learn about their hair, experiment, see what their hair could do outside of the confines of what could fit under a bonnet. That was the beauty for me, and being able to participate and be there with my community, strangers and family and friends alike. That was top notch.
And that's crazy. You co-hosted this really big event. How was it in your nerves?
Oh my god. It was a lot of preparation, a lot of meetings, a lot of notes to go through. I had memorized that whole program. I probably was in the programming to you right now off the top of my head. It was a lot. And I was nervous about being nervous, because when you're nervous in those situations, you don't get to appreciate where you are and just soak in the space. I had been on stages before where the nerves were taking over, and I could do the job still. Yeah. But it's almost you you black out, and it's when it's over, everyone's saying, "Oh, this is a great event," and you're I don't even remember what happened. I was so in my head the whole time.
Yeah.
So I actually fasted the day before, with my friend Melissa, and we fasted because I needed to make sure that when I went on that stage, I was there, and I could appreciate not just the moment, but the blessing it was to be in that moment. And so I tied the mic was in my hand, and the lights were in my face, and people were staring at me. yes, it was nerve-wracking, but I was so ready.
Yeah, because you came with the one that came with you. Yeah. And you're a black girl in a world that's doesn't look like you. Like it's the stage is higher, the lights are just a bit brighter, and that kind of thing. So where someone else would kind of have stage fright, you have stage fright and the other things, right? And so when you were growing up, did you know that your hair was something, you know, like how was the experience like in primary school, in high school for you?
I will say this, my mom was, and my dad as well, were very intentional making sure my sister and I loved our hair. And not loving our hair because other people hated our hair, but loving our hair because it was our hair. Period. Anybody should love their hair. It's part of the self-love journey. Yeah. Right? But I would say there were small moments in school that I could vividly remember of just feeling the difference. Like in elementary school, girls with to braid each other's hair on the carpet. And I couldn't do that. One, because the hair was already set in the hairstyle that couldn't be braided. It was done. The cornrows were in, the beads were set, it's done. Or just knowing that they can't braid my hair the same way they can braid Sally's hair. It requires a different level of skill that a 7-year-old white girl just doesn't have. And not even a 7-year-old black girl doesn't have. I couldn't do it. So just watching them have that like girl bonding moment that I couldn't really participate in, I wouldn't say it bothered me as a kid, but it was something I noticed. And I just felt that distance between them. And there was this other time in middle school. So my mom and my godmother taught my sister and I how to basically protect our hair. You know, as a kid, like good touch and bad touch. Yeah. Touching your hair was bad touch in my family. You don't touch other people's hair, you don't have them touch yours. So a white girl in my class, my friend actually, we had shared a locker together. I was in my locker, grade 7, going for like a notebook or something, change over to class, and I felt this touch on my hair. And I kid you not, Marilyn, it was reflex. I ain't even a violent person like that. I just swung around, I slapped her in her face. And you know she's white, so you can see the red on the side. And it was this weird moment. It was me, her, my brown friend on my one side, my other black friend on my other side, and we were all just like for a good 5 seconds. And then I went to hug her and say, okay, I'm sorry. And then I remember thinking to myself, I'm not sorry at all. You violated me first. Why am I hugging you? Yes, maybe I shouldn't have slapped her, but at the end of the day, it's like you touch somebody like that without the permission, what do you expect? Those are those odd moments for me that kind of remind me of my hair, if that makes sense. You go through life and it just becomes, oh, just me. And those are social moments where it's like, okay, it's not normal for some people.
Wow. Like, that was a story. Come on, journalists. Come on,
should I walk you through this?
Yes, this is the introspective view into your life. And I think that, wow, I had a question, but literally you invaded me with that. Like, that's so deep. Like, because at the end of the day, like, your parents actually shape your narrative on who you are. Like, they're actually the first mirror that you see yourself. Yeah. And it's like, what they reflect back to you is what you're going to take away. And I feel like what you said about, oh, you actually touched me first, why am I hugging you? Like, a lot of times, like, when I go out there, and I'll tell you a story as well. When I went to, like, that Asian fest, right, I was with my big Afro. And then there was this Lebanese family, like, you know, I knew because, like, they had, like, I lived with lots of Lebanese people when I was in, like, Nigeria. And they, like, she was just like, oh my gosh, my dad, because my dad was, like, older, my dad loves your hair, he wants to touch your hair. And I was just like, oh, and before I could say anything, he had sunk his hands inside my hair, like, not like a friendly touch. No, he had sunk his, and I was just like I could feel his hands on my scalp.
Like that's
I was like, that's not like, that's not. And I was really like, and I'm like, this is even not, like, this is not even my real hair, but I could feel his hands still on my scalp. And like, it was mortifying. Like, I was just like, and you know, and you couldn't really say anything because bro was like 76, right? Like, and like, he was just there, like, and I was like, So how about like this is something that they do like it's their birthright. Like if they see something, like how you touch cotton candy, like
No, literally, it's crazy how the education of Black people have been done with like just wandering hands and wandering eyes. Like, this is not a museum. And even in the museum, they say don't touch.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy to me how for some people, specifically people who do not have texture like ours, do not compute the disrespect it is. It is unconsensual touch. Period. Why do I have to explain more? Why? Because you feel obligated, you feel entitled. Why can't you just love from afar? And I think that's just the historical idea of Black people as being accessible to non-Black
I was
people.
about to say that, because at the end of the day, you won't feel that birthright kind of feeling like you're supposed to do this. If, like, for a normal person, like, imagine, even if you saw, like, a white person who had, like, a Bob Ross kind of, like, afro, you wouldn't feel the need to go and touch. But why do you feel the need for me, right? And it's like, that's mainly because, like, you just don't see me as, like, an equal. You know? Like, you don't see me as, like, somebody who could actually fight back as well, or, like, have the same rights as you to, like, It's so deep. Like, and the thing is, hair... When I learned about hair, like, just in, like, little bits of my life, like, I actually learned that slaves would store rice in their corners, like, and that was so monumental to me. Like, I will never forget that lecture. Like, I was like, that means hair is not just the hairstyle, it's an identity. I was
survival.
Like, it's survival. Like, that was like, and I said that this was going to be a bit emotional because, like, I was going to talk about something that I hadn't, this is like the space for that. When I was growing up, my dad cut my hair, I think 3 times throughout the span of my life. So the first time was when, like, I was, I think, I don't know if it was in primary 3. I remember I was in primary 3 because I always used to cry when they were making my hair because I had, like, a really tender scalp. So he did it, like, out of the goodness of his heart. So I don't blame him. Like, he just was like, oh my gosh, if she's crying so much, maybe we should do something. So I had, like, a buzz cut in the 3rd grade. And, like, it was even worse because I was in northern Nigeria. And northern Nigeria is where, like, it's predominantly, like, Muslim, predominantly, like, people who are Hausa, and I'm Igbo. So, like, that, you can imagine, like, those are, like, that's where most Muslims are and all that. And the thing is, people, like, at least their age, they don't really cover their hair because, like, we went to a private school and stuff like that. But they took their hair really seriously because they also knew that they would get to a part of their life where they needed to cover it. Do you understand? And so I was in a place where femininity was judged based on hair, and I did not have that. So, and, like, there was, like, a really painful experience that I had. Like, there was a rumor that went around that I had liked one of, like, the Muslim boys in the school because I was one of the only Christians in the entire school, right? And so I liked that, and he actually came and literally fisted my school uniform in his hand and, like, basically, like, took me up to, like, threaten me, like, why would you have a crush on me if that was, like, so I now realized that I wasn't a girl in their eyes. You get, like, I wasn't. So because I didn't have the hair, I didn't have my gender. Does that make sense? Like,
makes perfect sense.
So, like, and that moment I was like, okay, like, and so when my hair now grew and I was able to start making it again, it was like I started to have friends. Like, there was like a like, it was kind of like, okay, the girls could now be my friends because it was like a weird place where they didn't know where I was. I also wasn't their religion. I wasn't, like, their tribe, and so they didn't know where to put me.
Like, I could talk for hours about the gendering of things. We gender clothes, we gender race, and gendering hair. And I think you bring up a really important thing that I don't think enough people talk about, specifically in the Black community, the power of hair and no hair. beyond texture, when girls do big chops, or in your situation where the stereotypical look of a black woman isn't seen because the hairstyle doesn't match what we're typically socialized to accept. What that does to a woman. Because not even to mention the fact that womanhood is policed in the black body. When you fail to meet the certain standards that society has allotted to even give you the morsel of womanhood that they feel that you deserve, then what? Now we are in an identity crisis. Now it's like, holy cow, somebody sound the alarm.
It's gut-wrenching, can't lie to you, like, especially because length was something that they constantly, because their hair was like, maybe people from like the Fulani tribe, their hair was like really, really long, like, and they would pride it, like, oh, if your hair was long, like, they would always, I remember they would have basically like these Cold War contests of like whose hair was longer and all that, and that was like where the femininity came from, right? So imagine me that I couldn't even start doing band for band with length. Like, I was not.
You're so right. I think it also comes to this weird like war on shrinkage.
Yeah.
Like, some women just. It's one thing for the shrinkage just not to fit the style. It's another thing for you to literally fear the shrinkage. That is your curl in its most natural state. And we run. It's always about proving our hang time and proving it's just shrinkage. Wait. Let me get this blowout. Just wait.
Yeah.
And it's like, I can't help but feel like part of that is unresolved identity crisis that we really need to investigate.
Because who is the majority? The majority is like white, and like the hair of like a typical white person is not bob length.
Exactly. And they get to control their length. Yeah. If they want to shortcut the scissors out, if they want to grow long, and just grow long. Yeah. For us, it might depend on the moisture in your hair. It might depend on the weather of the day.
The type of your hair.
Listen, whether you wear a bonnet or a scarf to bed, it can change what length your hair is giving that 24 hours. Yeah. It could start off short and end up frizzy and big by the end of the day. And I think that's something that we have to get better at accepting. Yeah. Because you love to talk about the versatility of black hair until it's that. Yeah. Because then it's like black hair when there's like so much, oh my gosh, there's something I always say, and something that I'm starting to accept now is that things don't always have to be extravagant, in the sense that like the black people are either excellent or they're struggling. We can't exist as normal. Never. And it's stuff like that I think removes the humanity of black people. Yeah. When we've been socialized to think that we are less than, that's obviously like dehumanizing. Yeah. But then when we are mystified and made into these like, and deified, I would even argue, that also takes away from our humanity as well. How come a black person can't cry and be successful? How come a black person can't be angry and live a decent life? Yeah. Why is it always either get it out the mud or be the president? Literally.
We're either Obama or Franklin. Listen. We can't be in between.
And it's like, if you're in between, they're waiting for you to get either to excel or fail. Yeah. That's really it. Yeah. So we have to get this degree or we have to get this job to prove that we're not mediocre. Negro, what? Yeah. What? Yeah. And that's the kind of psychological pressure that I don't think we appreciate, especially when you're a young black person. When you're a young black person, you got something to prove. Yeah. And that's the reason why we're always running. And the thing is, always running. Because we're running a race that already started before we joined. Does that make sense? Like, I was in a work space where like everyone was white and married, like, and I was black. I was a black student, and so I was running a race that had already started a long time ago. And so it was a thing where like I was always falling short, because this is not relay. People are in front of you, not waiting to give you something. Like the finish line is already like, they're already there. Like, so what are you? And I feel like with the reason why, like, I always like, people will tell me like whenever I'm looking for a style to do,
like people will be like, oh, like just do French curls, or like just do this thing, like, or like just do like, and then, like, I love those styles. I love seeing some people, but I won't, like, my hair means so much to me because I fought a long time to accept my hair.
Yeah.
Do you get, like, even when like I would do all of those styles, and I was also in a boarding school where like we had to have like braids, like one braids, and like because we had to pack it up in a ponytail. We were also not supposed, it was not supposed to be long, so if it passed Bryland, they would just cut your hair, like they would just like snip the braids.
Wow.
So it was like, when I got out of school, I was like, you know what, like that Afro meant, and so every single time someone comes to my page, it's like there's something different, and my hair is always big because I feel like the small is something that they can digest, something that they dilute to digest, and I don't want to be digestible.
No, literally.
Yeah.
Because hair is policed.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Like, hair is policed, whether we police it in our bedroom when we're getting ready to go to work, or we go outside and they do it.
Yeah.
So either you're a black person who had a difficult time accepting their hair and you're fighting to maintain your love that you found, or you're somebody like me who's always loved it and refused to give it up. But at the end of the day, it's a fight. Always running, always fighting. And at the end of the day, as exhausted as I am, I know the price of what happens when I put my sword down. I will never let that happen to me.
Yeah.
Never let that happen to me.
Yeah.
And like it's so hard to express to somebody who doesn't understand it.
Yeah.
Who doesn't understand that this Afro is so deeply personal.
Yeah.
Like, you cannot comprehend.
Yeah. And I feel like, you know, in life, the best things, like the things that are hard to maintain, that are hard to get, that are always the things that we put in like the boxes. And I think that's like, if you go to a museum, like the gems, the crystals, the queen's jewels, they're always behind lasers, right? And the reason why Sally can make your hair is because it's not the norm.
Yeah.
It's something to be revered. It's something to be looked at, to be amazed by. Like the Afro, the texture is something that's beautiful. And just because it cannot be twisted in knots on a regular like Friday in school, it doesn't take away. In fact, it adds to the fact that it's that special. Yeah. Because you can manipulate it.
And I think some people ask, you know, like, oh, is it hard to do your hair? Is it hard? Is it hard? And it's not hard. If I were to wake up with straight hair, I would struggle as to what to do. I don't know the first thing about curling with no iron and da-da-da. I wouldn't know. I couldn't tell you. I would be a hot mess, bird's nest on my head every day.
Yeah.
So I think when we think about what is difficult, we have to contextualize that. And I refuse to let what society deems as easy to be imposed on me. This Afro is easy to maintain. 100%.
Yeah.
Simple as bread on butter or butter on bread. And that, I think, is hard for people to accept as well. The fact that I know what I'm doing with this hair. And it's not a burden to me. Yeah. Like, people they just want it to be a burden. It's not a burden to me.
Yeah. Because when it's not what they're doing, it has to be a problem. Yeah. It's like if you're doing something different, like if someone is not swimming in my stream, like she must be facing current. Like the currents must be getting to her.
Yeah, no, honey, I'm not gonna fall like this.
Come on. I think that's. I hope that this gets to the right people. Like I like people who are struggling. Sometimes like when I want to like actually wear like my natural hair outside, I'm like, like should I just? But I feel like from learning, like being in this episode, like being like hearing all of these things, I would go outside with my Afro, like just the way it is. Like, you know this girl lip gloss that was on TikTok like a while ago, but like she always used to talk about how ugly is like it's been imposed. Yeah, like what ugly is, like it's been drawn out for us, and so like we always put people in like, oh, like she has really, oh my gosh, and the beauty standards which are ever changing.
Listen, and it's weird because like it's ever changing, but you can still see the whiteness in it regardless. Oops. You can still see, because like even if you want to argue that Finn was in like early 2000s, let's say, and now it's all about the curves and the BBL, it's still in a certain context because it's curves without the stomach, it's curves without a certain this, a certain that, so it's still whitewashing at the same time. People want to talk about how, on fashion runways are adding braids and cornrows. Talk about the context of that.
Yeah. Now it's avant-garde.
Because it's still all in this white context.
Yeah.
And God forbid they allow the beauty center to be in the hands of somebody else other than whiteness and patriarchy. God forbid that be the case. Because maybe we would see something completely different. And I think with the ever-changing beauty standards and the TikToks and even the whole self-care and what does it mean to care for yourself and all of these things, I think Black women specifically need to investigate what works for them. And if we're constantly outsourcing our self-love, it's gonna be an issue. It's gonna be crippling. It already is. Already is.
That was like a word. Like that was a word. Outsourcing our, what did you say?
Self-love.
I really, really like that. Like anything that is not internally motivated cannot be externally sustained.
That is a word.
Girl, back. Like I feel like a lot of times, like people want to make it easy, like, and be like, okay, you know what, like I'll just feed into the the norm so that like I'm quickly accepted. But anything that you do once, like maybe you lie on your resume that you can speak French, there'll be a time you're supposed to speak French, and like, you know, it's the same way. Like if you go into the workplace with like a cute bob wig, and like they're like, oh my gosh, Cindy is such a doll, and the day that you go with your braids and like your locks, and they're like,
what happened to
who's that?
Literally.
And then it's literally, how did you? And we have certain work standards that you should have known when you were applying here, because you didn't come as your real self.
Because you're right, it comes to collect. It comes to collect. As a kid, I always made it apparent that I would wear my natural hair in its biggest day on my first day of school. Always. Or do something that was like a statement. A statement. To let all these homies know what's going up and down. You will see me in my twist tomorrow, maybe. But let's not forget, this is who I am. Set the standard. And I think it also changes about what good hair looks like, what tame hair, what a good hairstyle looks like. I think Black women need to release ourselves from the shackles of what presentable means. Because, honey, we are slaves to presentable and all of these pretty politics that make us feel like we have to maintain that bob forever. Or make us feel like we can't wear it. It's this weird.
It's either or.
Exhausted.
And I feel like the angry Black girl is just the Black girl.
We can actually put it right here.
And that's the end.
I swear by that. I constantly call myself an angry Black woman all the time. Because why is anger so horrible on my body, on my face? Sally can be angry all the time. We love angry Sally, actually. Karens are the superheroes of their time. They get things done, they go viral, they do all these amazing things. But God forbid Karen is a Black woman now this time.
No, she's
all of a sudden it's unhinged. All of a sudden we have to call the police. Get the OPPs, gotta lock this girl up. That's the crazy thing about it. I am so happy about my anger. And I'm happy about my anger when my biggest afro with my pick stuck in it. Heck yeah, I'm angry. Wouldn't you be angry? Aren't you ever? And now it needs to be the era of the sad Black girl, because there's not enough Black women crying out there. That's the issue. Because we love to be magic and we love to be queens, but queens cry and the magic runs out.
My mom was in an interview like yesterday, and she was like, I don't want to be called strong. And the interviewer was like, why? I was like, because if I'm strong, then I can't be vulnerable. Like, and you guys will squash me in the box, and so when I do cry, it's like, what's going on? And the thing is, like, strength is a way for somebody to knock you again, so that you can, like, they can give themselves an excuse to continue. See how strong you really are. Yep. And so, like, if I'm like, and the thing is, I never understood that concept of, like, because I would never buy into that. I'm just a girl. I'm not just a girl, but I'm just a girl, like, in the sense of, like, you know, because it's a thing where it's like, you, like, I don't want to be squashed down into, but at the core of it, I should be just a girl.
Just a girl. And you should be able to see me as just a girl. Yeah. However I am packaged. Yeah. That's the issue. Because black women and girls are never able to be girls. Mm-hmm. That's the problem. Yeah. We are aged and then we are dehumanized. So what are we now? Animals? Yeah. And you put that hair on top of it, it's like, okay, honey, wow. Yeah. Now we're at a petting zoo. And that's the kind of thing that I think we really need to investigate when we talk about being, like, growing up as a young woman who happens to be black. Yeah. Thinking of what type of woman you want to be. You want to be independent. You do want to be strong. But what does that mean? And we have to go and get these things outside of what white supremacy has told us it is. Yeah. Because Uncle Tom's black strong woman is not me. That is not me. Uncle Sam's strong black, that is not, I am not her. Yeah. Because my strength is found in the times where I'm broken and I'm still able to do what I gotta do, or the times where I cannot do it. It is the strength in where I decide I need to get up in the morning and say, okay, I can't leave my bed today, I'm staying there. Where is the applause for that? Because white girls get applauded for that all the time. That's what makes me upset. And I think that's what makes everybody upset. White girls get applauded for their messy buns. They get applauded for their toss-on outfits. They get applauded for their mediocre grades. They get applauded for doing the bare minimum. They get applauded for lip gloss and lashes and nails. And when black girls do it, all of a sudden the place is hushed and silenced.
And now we're trashy.
And then we're put on the stage to perform, to prove to the audience why we deserve to be here. I don't have time for that. And we should never allow that to be something we give our time to. And I think growing up and maturing and becoming a young adult, a young woman, I am now getting the agency of deciding, okay, I gotta give myself my humanity back. This is something that I have to go and get because it was never given to me. And I have to demand that in every room that I go into, Afro or twist or puff or whatever, or bonnet, that you don't get to decide whether I'm human or not. I make that decision. And I make that decision as to what human on me looks like today. And if it means crying, if it means getting angry, if it means being bubbly and happy and boom, 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 so be it. Yeah. You run on my schedule.
Wow. I have nothing else to say. I genuinely have nothing else to say. Like, you shut me up. Like you shut me up. Like, that was so good. Like,
you can tell I think about this a lot.
Yeah. Like, and I feel like, I'm sure, like, we were just like, I'm going to talk now. Like, when she was like, do this episode with me, you're probably like, yeah, this is the outlet.
Yeah. Listen, because we're never given the space. It's always internal thoughts for our diary. It's never open space.
It's always Moesha.
Hello. Every day is Moesha.
Yeah.
Wonder what would have happened if Moesha had said a little bit of those things out loud.
Yeah. Yeah, you'd have heard that, like, black sitcom sound that's been going around.
You're in my head. When you said Moesha, I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. Or House of Pain.
Yeah. It's always got to be internal dialogue with us.
Yeah.
Always got to be internal dialogue.
Yeah. That was really good.
It's like, dang. And then I have to wonder, like, how am I supposed to support my black sister here beside me if neither one of us are saying what we're already thinking in our heads? And that's why I think for me, when I go outside and I see a black woman in a hairstyle that I love, I have to say I love it. I have to. It's my job. It's my duty that I put on every day I leave my house. Because with all the noise in the world telling you that it's ugly, me not saying anything, I am agreeing with that. And I have to be, especially as a black woman standing in my truth with the hair that I'm wearing, how dare I not uplift her? I'm no better than all the demons I'm fighting. I'm the demon itself. And I think that's something that black girls specifically need to do more of for each other. Because then this conversation of hair becomes a circle and not just one internal dialogue. It's all of us together. we were talking about the culture of it. We have to do each other's hair and da da da. Let's talk about that. I remember in first year, my roommates, we had a hair day. It was like a weekend. Washed our hair and did our hair together. Watched the Boondocks. It doesn't get blacker than that. It doesn't get more familial than that either. And we can't do it in isolation. But again, that's strength, right? Being alone.
Yeah.
As they say. Okay, I'm done.
I was asleep. Like, this was so good. I don't have anything else to say, bro. I think you said it. Like, I was just like, while you were talking, I was just thinking, I was like, oh my gosh, I have to edit this episode in detail. Nothing must fall to the ground. Nothing must fall to the ground. Like, usually, I want to put every single clip on my page. Like, I want it to be an 86 patch. Like, you know, it was like, and I just like, I want to say that, like, before we wrap this up, that as a black girl, like, to other black girls, like Simone said, you do have a duty. I feel like you're not on this earth by yourself. Like, I feel like it's always a constant competition with the both of us, but we will only be as strong as the hand that we're holding. Like, and the moment you realize that this, like, you don't do life alone, like my church says all the time, you will, like, you will be strong by yourself, right? Like, you know, so this was wonderful. I can't wait to edit it. Like, I'm just thinking about that. Yes.
No, it was great to be here and get some things off my chest and say what I have to say, because it has to be said. Because we're all thinking it.
Yep.
All black girls are thinking it.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
After screaming, and it's like, yeah, thank you so much for having me. Like, I'll take
it was an honor. Yeah.
We're in Simone's beautiful room, by the way, and we're going to show you clips. We're really going to do MTV Cribs.
Oh, I love that!
Like, we should do like an MTV Cribs edit.
My humble abode.
Yep. And then it's just like 7 cars, and it's giving. Oh my gosh, what's his name? I forgot.
Tops and
yes.
Snoop Dogg had a crazy MTV Cribs episode.
And Babyface.
Yo.
Yeah.
Some of those cars had a boombox in the back, and where do you drive?
Yeah.
Where's the driver supposed to
be? Before the 2008 crisis, houses were like, I wonder if they still live there today. Like, if the 2005 houses still exist.
Probably. You got money to keep it, you keep it. I'd keep it.
Yeah.
And the crazy car.
Yeah.
Even though I don't drive it.
Yeah, I would keep that. Okay, guys. Bye for now.